Hi everyone, this is Nareen's with MS. I am Nareen and it is Thursday, so it's a Thoughtful Thursdays episode. This Thoughtful Thursday, I have something very interesting to share. So today I was at the office and it just so happened that one of my favorite people in the office was leaving the company and and their reasoning was they were getting married and so on and so forth. And so, while yes, I was very sad that I was not going to see them at the office anymore, partially because, we would just joke around and talk about food. And there are very few people that I can comfortably do that with. Um, Another thing that happened was another person, also one of my favorite people in the office, also came by and told me that they were getting married. So, two different people getting married. Of course, the second person was at least not yet leaving, but they might be soon. But the biggest thing that I thought about was the fact that both of these people were, I want to say, anywhere between 4 and 6 years younger than me. And here I am, unmarried. I don't know where on the scale or spectrum I stand in terms of, forever single and, happily doubled. I don't know where I stand. And, that actually made me really, really consider the fact that, a disease that is life changing, kind of like MS, it does something to, the time frame that you live on, right? Because time still passes just as quickly or just as slowly for everyone and you, but really the relative time slows down considerably, right? Because it takes you so much more time to react to certain things. It takes you so much more time to think, to plan, to really make your life, you know, be a little bit better than what it is. Because if you maintain it at status quo, chances are it's going to be a downhill sort of journey. So it definitely made me think about just the fact that, when time is considered and, you are comparing a, what you can say, a healthy person to a person who, may have something like MS, time is very different for these two people. Even if time as a whole will move on just as quickly for both of them. It's just because we can't handle time at, the way that regular people do, right? I mean, even when I'm sitting in this one chair, a regular person might take maybe 3 seconds to get out of this chair, right? The same activity could take me 30 seconds. So, a lot of times, the one thing that I generally tend to note is that time for us is much more stretched out, and a lot of times we really have to consider it in terms of relativity, not, you know the theory or anything, but more in terms of relative to someone else, because that someone else can be moving at a much faster pace, can be doing things much quicker than you. And part of the reason for all of that is just because you have something like MS. Now, I do understand a lot of people are going to come at me and say that everyone moves at their own speed, da, 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 da. But here, and I know everyone does move at the different speeds, everyone does have certain things that they take certain amounts of time on. There are definitely certain things that I might even do better or faster than regular people who do not have something like MS. But at the end of the day, there should be almost like a grace time for a lot of things that people with MS, people like me, actually struggle with. The regular daily tasks that may seem like second nature to other people might actually not only take a lot of time, but it can also take a lot of energy, right? One of my least favorite things in the world, and I'm not joking you, is putting on pants, right? Because not only do I have to do it every day, I have to do it at least twice every day, right? After I take a shower, I have to first put on my underwear, then I have to put on whatever I'm wearing, um, be it jeans, be it slacks, uh, be it long pajamas, short pajamas. I mean, whatever it is, definitely takes that extra time. And so definitely one thing that I would caution people, especially people who are maybe caretakers of um, patients with diseases like MS, diseases that can slow their daily routine down, to just be a little more patient with them, right? Understand that sometimes, as positive as we think, certain things will get slower over time. Certain things will become more difficult to do over time. And that is when the person you're taking care of, the patient, may need a little more help. But at least coming from my experience, they will not ask for it, sadly. That is something that I did want to share. And and related to that, I did want to share another thing, which was just this idea that why people are so shocked at the fact that I have a very disciplined sort of approach to everything. So I had this conversation also today with also one of my favorite people in the office. This person not leaving though, at least for now. So what I was discussing with them was the fact that there is a certain level of discipline that I live by. There are certain things that I have to do. There are certain things I would like to, or preferably love to do. And if I do get the time, I do them. And the only response I got is, you are too disciplined and it's very hard to stay that disciplined. But you have to look at what the other side of the coin is. Without this discipline, without the ability to actually have something that I can control, something that is timed to to a certain point, And I know maintaining that discipline at least helps me maintain my sanity, allows me to have a little more control of my life. So really, it's more of us asking how, if things are getting a little harder for us, if certain things are taking a little more time for us to do, how do we equalize ourselves with the other people, right? How do we equalize ourselves with regular healthy people who probably do not have the same issues as us, right? So that was a little thing about time that I did want to share with you, right? I didn't intend to go very deep with this. I hope I didn't go deep. But yes, please do share your thoughts, your insights, your comments, and your experiences as to what do you perceive of time, and how do you perceive other people's relative time according to you. And please do share that so that we can get the conversation started. But with that said, this is Naren's Life with MS. I am Naren. And of course, to end off this video, I just want to wish you a good night, sweet dreams. And considering we are already on Thursday and Friday is right around the corner, I will catch you tomorrow. Bye.